I believe that the Beatles, yes, the Beatles, the band, the English rock band, were time travelers. And I'm here to prove it. So the Beatles, the band that was founded in Liverpool in 1960, who had John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr in it, grew to be a pretty famous, well-known band, probably one of the most well-known bands. Obviously way before my time, but everyone knows about it. Anyways, 1960 is when they begin, right? And then 43 years later, a boy named Jude Bellingham was born, also from England. June 29th, 2003 to be exact. The Beatles then released their hit song, Hey Jude, in 1968, 35 years before Jude Bellingham was born. And you might be asking yourself right now, what does that have to do with anything? What's the coincidence here? The coincidence is that now in the year of 2026, Jude Bellingham is arguably the best English player at the 2026 World Cup. And how the heck would the Beatles have known that Jude was going to pop off like this unless they were time travelers? Are you following me? You following me? So, England won their last World Cup in 1966. 6 years after the group was founded, and 2 years before Hey Jude was released. So, 1966 happens. The Beatles and the rest of England are probably buzzing that they just won their first World Cup, defeating West Germany. 2 years go down the line, and they're probably thinking, remember that feeling 2 years ago in 1966 when we won? That was a pretty cool feeling. But, unfortunately for the English, they haven't seen the World Cup trophy come home since then. So I think the Beatles, being the time travelers that they are, create the song Hey Jude in 1968 because they've seen what happens at this World Cup in 2026. And it's coming home. I think we saw yesterday with the performance against Norway, they're through the semifinal. And they finally have an actual good manager that can push them to the next step, right? The next stage. They're going to play Argentina in the semifinal, so that'll be a pretty interesting game. But yeah, anyway, this is really all just nonsense. I'm fully joking, but let's just cover the England game versus Norway. Talk about Jude's performance because I think he has the world in a chokehold right now. He's just the guy at the World Cup, especially for England. Harry Kane played more of a defensive role in the game, I feel like, and Jude stepped up to bring the result on the attacking end, which he has been all tournament. Looking at it, Jude Bellingham now has 4 Man of the Match awards at this World Cup, 6 goals, 1 assist. I believe it's back-to-back braces in the knockout stage as well. And with that being said, he becomes the first ever player since Maradona to score a brace at the Azteca. First player to score back-to-back braces in knockout stages since Maradona as well. Youngest player to score back-to-back braces in knockout stage after Pele. So he's in pretty good company with all those achievements right now. More goals than Rooney in major international tournaments, and he's only 23. And first midfielder to score 5 goals for England at the World Cup. With the likes of, Lampard, Scholes, Gerrard, all those boys playing for him in this time. And they couldn't do it. So Jude is he's world class. I don't care what you say. He's world class. I think everyone's seeing it now. That tweet underneath is pretty funny. But yeah, Jude makes it 1-1 towards the end of the first half. This touch here to break the defender, get in front of him. And honestly, the finish is incredible too, right? Because if he plays it on the ground, the keeper is usually making a kick save there and they're not scoring. But somehow he just lifts it just enough to get in between the keeper's arm and the keeper's leg to find the back of the net. And that was really just huge for England right before the end of the half. And they got the one that was offsides with Harry Kane, and he assisted that one too. So he was just flying towards the end of the game, which he kind of did against Mexico as well. So it's just, is it a coincidence? I don't think so. Second goal, great follow-up from Morgan Rogers' shot. You know, you just right place, right time, always looking for the ball. I mean, he's played 93 minutes at this point. You know he's tired, and he's still one of the ones running the most on the pitch. He played incredible today. England, as we know from Thomas Tuchel's words, he wasn't too hyped about the performance. And then, with Jude Bellingham also being on a yellow card, one yellow card away from suspension, as you see by the quote, his mom telling him not to do anything crazy anyways, put a really mature match as a 23-year-old in a pretty physical game against Norway. He's obviously getting tackles left and right, but keeps his composure, stays calm, and doesn't get the yellow card, so he's able to play in the semifinal, which is huge. Bringing up the Thomas Tuchel stuff, a little bit of a heated press conference. I think it's just reactionary at the end of the match. I think obviously, they got through. That's the main objective at the end of the day. Can't take that away from them. They did enough on the day. But, yeah, I mean, like he called them out essentially, right? He said that they weren't good enough. They made too many mistakes. They were too slow on the ball, which I agree. I mean, I think if you guys saw the American broadcast, Zlatan was just cooking Madueke the whole time. He got hooked at halftime. It wasn't like the best game from England, but they got the job done. And they kind of got bailed out by Jude. Pickford did well at the end. Defensively, they're locked in defensively, I feel like. John Stones and Gay, he locked up Holland. Holland didn't have a bad game necessarily, but no goals, obviously, for the first time this tournament, I believe. And, yeah, he just didn't get his goal. So people are thinking he didn't play well, but that's not necessarily true. He had his chances, and, he takes a lot of the eyes away from the rest of the Norway team because they kind of have to double team them. So then someone's always open. And sometimes that's the role you take. Kind of like Harry Kane as well. Like I said, he didn't do a whole lot attacking-wise, but defensively he did a huge role. He's like always so deep. He gets so deep on the ball, and even like in defense, like he's at the top of the 18 defending, which I think is insane. But this happened, Tuchel's interview happened before Jude's interview, and Jude kind of also called Tuchel out in the sense of, he was hyped that they won. He feels like he had a good game. Norway's not an easy opponent in any means. Obviously, they're in the quarterfinals for the first time, and they just have had a really good tournament. Essentially, Norway has done what everyone thought Turkey was going to do, which is pretty interesting. And I mean, yeah, like the moment, the energy, how many games they've played already, the heat. I believe it was the hottest game at a World Cup since it was hosted last time in the U.S., but just also just like insane. So hot conditions, playing against Odegaard, Holland. I don't know. There's a little bit of a little bickering going back and forth, but I think it's just reactionary. I think obviously they'll calm down, get a game plan for the next game against Argentina, because that will be a big match. Not to be biased, of course, but to highlight one of my Chelsea boys. Reece James came on the pitch after having a little bit of a scare with his hamstrings again. And, man, he's just incredible. Came on as a CDM at the start. Locked down the pitch that way. Bit of a rocky start, I can't lie. The first ball kind of got away from him, but he cleaned it up. And I think he kind of found his place in the match towards the end. And then he also moves to right back and just locks up 1v1 against the left winger. Antonio Nusa, I believe his name is. And yeah, like, man, he was just incredible. I'm so hyped that he wasn't seriously injured. And I think if he's fine and fit, I don't see why he doesn't start the semifinal. Because Konsa at right back put in a shift, right? Did the job. It's just a little sus having a center back at right back. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see against Argentina, right? I know Tuchel also likes him as a CDM role, which kind of Maresca did too eventually. It's kind of, he can just do both. He can do anything, really. He's a freaking GOAT. And then the controversy with the match, right? Every game has to have some. Does the ball hit the cable? The graph of the ball says that it doesn't. Video obviously looks like it really does. Kind of sus, not gonna lie. I feel like they could have. I don't feel like Norway made like the biggest outrage of it. Like you see the keeper here kind of going over and talking about it, and like the coach now and Holland, blah blah blah. But man, I don't know. I just feel like it wasn't that bad. Or like, don't get me wrong, it was bad. But like the fact that VAR didn't do anything or like didn't intervene, the ball doesn't show the ball hitting the cable. Like it's just weird, right? There's something going on. FIFA being FIFA, saw it later in the Switzerland match as well. Yeah, who knows? It's been an interesting end to the tournament. I feel like it started really chill and really good, and I feel like everyone was on the same page about that. But as time goes on, it's just getting kind of worse and worse, and I don't really know what to say, if I'm being honest. It's just unfortunate, and I understand why Norway feel hardly done by that, because that is tough. Like it, to the naked eye, it certainly looks like it hits. Why the ball doesn't show it, I don't know. Like I mentioned before, next matchup is England versus Argentina. A rematch since the Hand of God incident. And England are out for revenge. But Argentina have the power of friendship right now, and their love for Messi that continues to carry them through. And every player has come out in their interviews saying that they're going to try their hardest to win for Messi, blah, blah, blah. So, man, like, what a great team to be a part of for Messi. To have those boys that just give everything for him, it's incredible. However, I do think England can get it done. I think England are the most equipped to overcome the adversity and controversy that every Argentina match has with it and still get the win. I think even if England goes down a man, they can still see a win. I think if England has a controversial penalty that Argentina gets, I think that they can still come out and get the win, because Argentina are shaky at the back. They are not the defensive powerhouse that they used to be in 2022. They're letting goals in. They're letting chances leak in left and right. And I just think England has, on paper, I think England has a better team, if I'm being honest. And I think most people would say that too, unless you're just like a weird Argentina fan, because if you are, what are we doing? But yeah, we'll see. Both semifinals coming up, France versus Spain, Argentina, England. I'm going to keep the content coming, guys. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Comment if you want. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you next time.